Time to crank up the heat and take a deep dive into Brivis Ducted Gas Heating Systems. We're talking all things Brivis today.
Definitely a hot topic, especially if you're here in Australia.
We're going to break it down, make it easy to understand, whether you're comparing brands or just, want to impress your mates with your heating knowledge.
Exactly. And, a little history always helps. Brivis, they're a big deal under Rinnai, Australia. Been innovating in heating and cooling for what seems like forever.
Okay, so innovating. What does that actually mean? They, invented the heater.
Well, maybe not the very first heater. They did pioneer the very first 5-star ducted gas heater here in Australia. Can you believe that? A 5-star heater back in the day. Huge for energy efficiency. And get this, we've heard stories that some of their heaters from almost 50 years ago are still chugging along.
50 years. Wow.
No.
Talk about built to last. Okay, before we get lost in all the different models and stuff, can you give us a quick, Heating 101, how do these ducted systems actually work?
Absolutely. So picture this. The system, it draws in the cool air from your house, right? And this air, it gets pulled through something called a heat exchanger, which is inside the heater unit. And that's where the magic happens.
So like a giant hairdryer for my house.
Yeah, kind of like that. But instead of just blowing the hot air straight out, it uses a fan to circulate this lovely warm air throughout your house, through these ducts. They're installed in your roof or underfloor. And those ducts, they have vents that deliver that beautiful heat to each room.
No more fighting over who gets to sit by the heater vent. Okay, and I noticed in the brochure they mentioned something about modulating. What's that all about?
Good question. Modulating basically means the system, it's a smart cookie. It's always adjusting the gas it uses. So it keeps your desired temperature just right, nice and steady. So as your house warms up, the heater automatically chills out a bit on the gas, so you're not wasting energy.
So cruise control for your heating. Keeps everything running smoothly and efficiently.
Exactly. And what does that mean? Lower energy bills, smaller carbon footprint. Good for the wallet, good for the planet.
Win-win. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty. Brivis, they've got a whole bunch of models, right?
They do. That's why it's key to understand, the differences between the product lines. So we've got the classics, which are great for affordability, the Buffalo series, which is a nice balance of cost-effective and energy efficient. And then, of course, we have the top of the line, the Star Pro range.
Let's start with those classics. Who are those best for?
The classics, really good entry point. If you're budget conscious or maybe you're building a new place, you've got a couple of options there. You've got the compact classic, the CC3, which is, compact. Doesn't need a lot of space. And then you've got the Wombat classic, that's the 2PWN. This one's known for being super reliable, real workhorse.
A good solid heater, you're saying?
Exactly. And, it might not have all the bells and whistles of those fancy models, but the Wombat Classic, it still boasts a really high star rating for its class.
Okay.
You'll save on energy compared to other, standard heaters.
Efficiency and reliability. Can't go wrong with that. What if someone's got an older home and they're thinking of upgrading? Is there a Brivis model that's good for that? So we've covered the classics, good for new builds, people watching their budget. But what about upgrading? Say you've got an older system, you want something more efficient, something a bit newer.
Yeah, the Buffalo, excellent choice for upgrades. You've got the BX3C, that's a really popular one because it's familiar. People know Brivis, they trust Brivis, they probably had one before, but it's got that updated tech. So it's more efficient than those older models.
So it's familiar, but still modern.
Exactly. Now, if they're really serious about saving on those energy bills, the BX5, also in the Buffalo series, that's one to look at. That was actually Brivis's first 5-star ducted gas heater, really designed for efficiency.
Wow, first one ever. That's pretty cool. Can you explain that star rating system? Some people might not know what that means, those stars.
Oh, yeah, sure. So in Australia, we've got this star rating system for appliances right now. And basically, the more stars, the more energy efficient the appliance is. So that 5-star rating means it's top of the class, using less energy, saving you money on those bills in the long run.
Got it. More stars, happier wallet. All right, let's talk about the fancy ones, the Star Pro series. What's so special about those?
The Star Pro series, this is where Brivis really kicks it up a notch. Innovation, all the latest technology. These heaters are packed with features that just make them super comfy and efficient.
All right, give us the rundown. What kind of features are we talking about here?
Well, one thing, they've got this 4-pass heat exchanger. The classic and Buffalo models, they have a 3-pass, right? But this one, The hot gases from the burner, they go through 4 times, not just 3. So you're basically squeezing every last bit of heat out of that gas, transferring it to the air, making your home nice and toasty.
So less waste, lower running costs, like we were talking about before.
You got it. And it's better for the environment, too. Plus, those Star Pro models, they give you more control over your comfort with advanced zoning capabilities.
Zoning, what is that again? We touched on it earlier, but how does that work, especially with a system like this Star Pro?
Okay, so imagine your house is divided into different heating zones. Each zone, its own thermostat, you control it. So with the Star Pro, you can have different temperatures in different areas. Like you could have the bedrooms nice and warm at night, but during the day, you keep the living areas a bit cooler, save some energy because you're not using those rooms.
That's so smart. Why heat a room if no one's in it, right? Now, let's get specific. What's the difference between, say, a Star Pro 4 and a Star Pro 6?
Okay, good question. So the Star Pro 4, that's a great all-rounder. You can install it inside or outside, very flexible, and it's really efficient, like up to 4.8 stars.
Almost a perfect score. All right, bring on the big guns. What about that Star Pro 6? That's the top of the line, right?
Star Pro 6, this is the king, the best of the best. Top performance, super efficient, total control. You've got that super efficient 4-pass heat exchanger, and this one has a modulating gas valve. Keeps the temperature perfect, no waste.
Okay, hold on. Heat exchanger, we've covered that. But modulating gas valve, what's so special about that?
Precision. It's always adjusting the amount of gas going to the burner, just the right amount to keep your desired temperature steady. So no more like blasts of heat than cold spots. It's just perfect all the time.
Like a little heating brain, making sure everything's running smoothly. That's amazing.
Yeah. And on top of all of that, you can add zoning to the Star Pro 6. And you can even add on cooling. So it's like year-round comfort all in one system.
You said add-on cooling, and my ears perked up. Tell me more about this dual comfort system I keep hearing about.
Okay, so dual comfort, that's for those who want it all. Heating, cooling, all in one. You've got that efficient Brivis gas ducted heating, and you can add on a refrigerated cooling system.
So it's like the ultimate comfort package.
Exactly. And the great thing is you can install both at the same time, or, if you need to spread the cost, you can do the heating first and add the cooling later on.
That's super handy, especially if you're renovating or building in stages. You don't have to do everything at once.
Exactly. And just like those Star Pro models, you can add zoning to the dual comfort as well. So whether you're heating or cooling, you can customize those zones.
I am sold on this zoning thing. All right, last but not least, we got to talk control panels. What kind of options does Brivis offer there?
They really do have something for everyone, from super simple to high-tech, whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay, break it down for us. What are the options?
So for the tech lovers, they have the Brivis Touch Controller. This thing is basically a mini computer for your heating and cooling. You can program schedules for the whole week, adjust the temperature perfectly, see how much energy you're using, even control it from your phone.
So you're on your way home, it's a freezing cold day, you can turn the heat up before you even walk in the door.
Exactly. Now, if you prefer something, a bit more classic.
A bit more old school.
Yeah. They have the networker controller, that's the NC6. It's got this really simple dial and a nice clear screen so you can see it, even if it's, a bit dim.
Simple, easy to use. I like it. What about the people who are like, set it and forget it?
They've got that too. The programmable controller, you just preset your temperatures and the schedule for the week, and you're good to go.
And if those are still a bit too fancy, you've got the trusty manual controller.
Yep. Just your good old-fashioned thermostat, set the temperature you like, and that's it.
Easy peasy. Okay, before we wrap up this deep dive, let's talk about, peace of mind, warranties, support, all that good stuff.
Yeah, that's a big one when you're investing in a heating system, right?
Yeah.
Brivis, they offer a 5-year parts and labor warranty on all their ducted gas heaters. That's standard.
5 years, that's pretty standard, isn't it?
It is, but here's the thing. They have this optional, bonus thing. It's called the Service Advantage Program. So if you sign up for that, you get those regular checkups, you can actually extend the warranty up to 9 years.
9 years. That's wow. Okay. Well, I think we've really covered it all today. We've gone from the very beginning, the history of Brivis, all the way to these super smart, efficient systems they have now, zoning, all the different models.
We've talked about controlling those temperatures perfectly, choosing the right system for your needs, making sure you've got the right controller, and of course, protecting your investment with those warranties.
So much good stuff. If someone's listening to this, trying to decide about a new heating system, what's the one thing, the most important thing to remember?
Think long term, What matters most to you? Is it saving money on energy? Is it making sure everyone in the house is comfortable no matter what room they're in? Maybe you want to be able to add cooling later on, keep all your options open.
It's about making your home your perfect haven, right?
Yeah. And with Brivis, you've got choices, They've got a good track record, been around for a while, and they're always innovating, coming up with new things.
That's great advice. So listeners, go forth, make those informed decisions, and stay warm this winter.
And if you get 50 years out of that Brivis heater, you know where to find us.
That's all the time we have for today's deep dive into the world of Brivis ducted gas heating. Until next time, stay curious and stay cozy.